week in general has been hectic and overwhelming and stressful and just a hot mess.
So we're working on division, and in 4th grade, our students are expected to divide up to a 4-digit number by a 1-digit number.
I'm leaving with a clean desk and a clean classroom, and I finally just feel less stressed. Good morning, YouTube. This week is going to be filled with different schedules and fun activities, but it'll be a little bit hectic because there's so much going on. Today, for example, we are celebrating Veterans Day, which was yesterday, but we have a lot of students with family members in the military because we live very close to a military base. So our school makes a pretty big deal out of it. We are gonna have 50-minute blocks in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we're gonna be in homerooms. We have some guest readers. I have a parent of one of my students in my class coming to read to them, and then we have a Veterans Day assembly. So that's kind of our schedule for today, and then I'll just talk to you about the rest of the week as it comes because there's several things going on this week. It is also American Education Week, so it's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some coffee, and then I will catch up with you at school. So it is officially the start of the second marking period, and whenever it is a new marking period, I love to start new things in my classroom. So at the end of last week, I rearranged my desks. They are now in smaller groups, so my students have new seats. They also have a line order, which this is the first time I've done this in 4th grade. I used to have to do this in 2nd grade, but I printed out a copy of my line order and I have it on my lanyard, so that way homeroom block 1 and block 2, whether we are in the classroom, whether we're out at recess, I know exactly where my students should be in their line order. My students may not be happy about it, but it's just necessary because we've had a lot of arguments in line and a lot of talking in line because they're getting next to their friends and all that good stuff. I also am going to start a new classroom management strategy. So before I was using the fuzzy jars. Hold on, let me grab it. Okay, so these were the fuzzies. Basically, my students could earn either a small, medium, large, or we called it a Chubbs. It was like a ginormous fuzzy based on their behavior in class. Now, it worked well. It worked out so that each one of my blocks filled up their jar once, which I thought was perfect. However, I want to try something new for second marking period. I'm going to be doing student versus teacher points. So basically, either I can earn a point or they can earn a point. I earn points when they're talking and they're not following directions. They earn points when they're on task and focused. At the end of each class, so obviously I'm going to do this with block 1 and block 2. I may even do it with homeroom. When they beat me and they have more points than me, then they will score like, and I haven't decided exactly what it's going to be. I'm thinking of having like a card or something and I punch it. But basically, once they beat me for 10 classes, they will get a reward. My typical reward is wearing pajamas and bringing a stuffed animal. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to like display this. Obviously, with the points, I'm just going to do it on the whiteboard and have a section for teacher, have a section for student, and just add tallies. But once they do beat me, I need a way to like represent that. So I'm going to think about it throughout the day. I don't need to have it figured out quite yet, but I'll just explain it to my students today. I was going to do a new like call and response. So previously I was doing shark bait and they would say ooh ha ha.
Shark bait. Shark bait. Ooh ha ha.
But now I'm using the secret word, which over on my whiteboard, I can't point that far, but all the way over there, it says secret word. Basically, every day I write a different word up there and it's a secret word for the day. Whenever my students hear it, they have to give me their attention immediately, and the first student who does earns a Cub Kudo. That has been working really, really well. Lately, I've been on a fruit kick, so like all the words have been fruit. So I've done like cantaloupe, honeydew, kumquat, they loved that one. Today the word is kiwi. So I think I'm gonna just keep that for the second marking period, and then I'll introduce a new call and response like maybe the third marking period. So just to keep you all updated, those are some of the changes that are starting today. So I mentioned earlier how I was trying to think of a way to track like how many times the class beats me, and I thought about doing something physical like a punch card, and then
honestly, that's just too complicated and I want it to be super simple. So I'm going to use Class Dojo, but I'm not using it the typical way. I just made a character for my homeroom, block 1 and block 2. So whenever they do beat the teacher, I will just click on their monster, and then I created this little skill that says beat the teacher. I will do that. It will give them a point, and then once they get to 10 points, we can do a class reward. So I think that this will be a nice, easy way to track it. And the best part about Class Dojo is I can either give them the point on the computer, or I have the app on my phone. I can do it straight from my phone, so this should be pretty easy to keep up with. So new seats update. I really like this arrangement. I like having the smaller groups, and it was all fun and games until it came time to stack our chairs. Now, typically my students would stack them in this area in front of the cabinets. However, if they stack them there, I don't have any room for them to walk, so that was not going to work. I thought about having them stack it back here, but that wouldn't really work because first of all, I have so many kids in my room at dismissal that I need this area, plus the custodians usually move those rainbow drawers to be able to plug in the vacuum to vacuum my rug. So I couldn't stack them here. Don't really have any room back here. I thought about having them stack them here, like in between the tables, but then it's a pain in the morning for my kids who sit all the way over on the other side to get out their chairs. So my solution for today was just to have them flip it over and put it on their desk. The bad thing is then the custodians can't wipe off the desk, but I was thinking of having them flip it over Monday through Thursday and then leave it on Friday so that they can clean off the desk and just have them clean it once a week. I don't know. I don't really like this because it's easy for kids to like run into it and for them to fall off, but I literally have nowhere for them to stack their chairs. I guess I could have them do it in between like the aisles, but there's barely any room to even fit them, and it's just, this is the problem with having higher class sizes. Like, not only are there more seats and it takes up more room in the classroom, but there's also more chairs that they have to stack and just everything. Like, it all compiles when you have larger class sizes.
Life update, it is now 6 o'clock, so let me kind of backtrack. After lunch, we were in homerooms, we had a guest reader, and I had them read this book. It's called H is for Honor, a Military Family Alphabet. There are not a lot of books for Veterans Day. Trust me, I have looked. So I grabbed this on Amazon. I will link it for you in the description box. I really like this one. It basically has different like terms and things related to the military for each letter of the alphabet. For each one of them, so like D, there's like the little blurb, and this is what I had the guest reader read, but then there's more information on the side. We didn't have time to go through all of that, but this is something you could use maybe throughout the month of November and kind of do a different letter each day and really go into detail, but there's tons of good information. The kids really like it. So that went really well. Then I actually ended up having 2 guest readers because one of the parents, they hadn't signed up to read, but they ended up coming in the room. So he ended up not reading. He ended up just answering questions because that's what our students always love to do, is just ask questions. And I love for them to have that opportunity. Then we had the assembly, which went really well. It's a lot of time for my students just to sit, which is obviously difficult, especially because they're towards the back. They can't see very well, but it went really well. We had tons of veterans that were there, and they each got announced, and their student came and gave them like a little gift. It was awesome. So then I had Girls on the Run practice after school. We did a practice 5K because the Girls on the Run 5K is in the beginning of December. So it was a little cold outside, but it felt good, and my girls did a great job. We played music for them and had fun. I'm now back in my room. I'm just kind of cleaning up, figuring out what I'm doing tomorrow. Our schedule is off again tomorrow because we have an assembly in the afternoon. It is a like dance company coming. So I'm not sure exactly like what all that entails, but that will be tomorrow afternoon. So we're gonna have hour and 20-minute blocks tomorrow. So that will go until 2:15, switch back to homerooms, go to the assembly, and then come back for the end of the day. Thankfully, Wednesday and Thursday are regular days, but then Friday our schedule is off again. I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing what I need to do here, get out of here, go to the gym, go home, do all that good stuff, and I will catch up with you all in the morning.
Good morning, YouTube. I already told you about our schedule today, and I don't have a whole lot else to say except for the fact that I am so tired, and I think this carries over from the weekend because on Sunday I had to get up at 6 a.m. to go run the Hero Boys 5K. So typically I sleep in on the weekends because like I need to catch up on my sleep, and I was only able to do that on Saturday this weekend, and even then like I didn't get to sleep in very long because of other stuff going on, and I'm just like very tired. So I know I got coffee yesterday. I think I'm gonna go get some today because I need Thanksgiving break like something terrible. Good morning, can I get a medium hot vanilla latte, please?
It is now 6:30. I kind of have like good news, bad news. Bad news is I am not gonna be here on Friday. So I had briefly mentioned, I think on my vlogs, and I know I posted on Instagram, my grandfather had been in the hospital off and on for past several weeks, since like September, and he unfortunately passed away over the weekend. So his service is being held on Friday, which means I will not be in school. Thankfully, this was really, really sweet. Like my school got me flowers and a card, which I just really appreciate, and like, I just really love my school. Like it's very much like one big family among the staff, and I just think I'm incredibly lucky to work at my school. But because I'm not here, I have to write sub plans and prepare stuff for that and everything. But the good news is I was very productive today with my planning time and also my time after school. I am planned basically for the rest of the week. So I'm ready for tomorrow and Thursday in terms of my math lessons and science lessons. Friday, I have started my sub plans. They're pretty much done. Friday is when our school is celebrating American Education Week. So this entire week is American Education Week. My old county, parents were able to come in like anytime during the day that entire week, which was very overwhelming. Here, my school kind of isolates it to a specific day and time. So 4th grade on Friday from 1:35 to 2:35, we're inviting in parents to witness some kind of a like interactive learning activity. We're still trying to figure out exactly what we want to do. So I just have to insert that into my sub plans, but all of like the academic stuff is done, which is just a really good feeling because then I'm not gonna be here super late on Thursday trying to get it done. Overall, like I feel good. I feel like I'm finally getting ahead because lately I feel like I've just barely been keeping my head above water, if we're being completely honest. And I have a paper for grad school that like I need to get done ASAP, and I'm just very overwhelmed right now, but I'm slowly starting to feel better. Now, that being said, I need to go meet Billy at the gym and go get my workout in. So I'm gonna end today's vlog and I will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Good morning, YouTube. It is my double star day at Starbucks, so even though I've gotten coffee the past 2 mornings, I think I'm gonna go again. And I know I complained about this yesterday morning, but again, I am so tired and I've been getting to bed earlier than normal. Like, I feel like I'm just hitting the point where my body's like, yep, like you need a break, you're done, you're tired, and I'm trying to listen to my body. I'm trying to get to bed early and like get ahead and stuff, but I definitely need Thanksgiving break. I have a CDM meeting this morning, collaborative decision making, and then I'm meeting with my team teacher during my planning time. So at some point I will try to show you, especially notes that I made up for division, and then I will catch up with you whenever. So we are working on division, and in 4th grade, our students are expected to divide up to a 4-digit number by a 1-digit number. So I made up these notes. The main strategy that we teach our students is called partial quotients. They are not taught the standard algorithm until 5th grade because we follow Common Core. So you'll see here, I just have an example equation and I labeled the parts. So it's the dividend divided by the divisor equals the quotient. I listed out the actual steps that they follow in words, and then I also have an example. So with partial quotients, they basically continue multiplying to get as close to the dividend as possible, and they subtract it each time until they get down to 0 or a number less than the divisor. And if they get a number less than the divisor, that is their remainder. If they get 0, there is no remainder. And then they add up the partial quotients on the side, the numbers that they multiplied by the divisor to get close to the dividend. So this one was 233. I always teach my students to write out their facts.
That way they can kind of look at this as they are dividing and subtracting to figure out, like, you know, what would be closest. But one of the things I've noticed this year is my students really are struggling with their facts. Like, they do not have them memorized at all. They use multiplication charts, but even then sometimes it takes them a while to like find it, and then it's just not super efficient. So this is what I made up last night. So I just said multiplication facts. Basically I listed them out, so this way, like if they're dividing by 4 in the example I just showed you, they can look right here. And if you look really carefully, there's also the zeros, because sometimes they multiply by a multiple of 10 or a multiple of 100 with partial quotients, and my students were kind of having issues like thinking of the zeros and where those go. So basically I have the actual fact bolded, so that's nice and easy to see. But then if you look, I also have the zeros. The first zero is a little bit darker, and then the second zero is even lighter. So that way they can see, okay, well, 7 times 90 with the 1 darker zero would be 630 with the 1 darker zero. I'm hoping this helps. This could have been a waste of time, but I think this will be able to help my students, at least some of them, you know, and if some of them don't need it and don't use it, that's totally fine. But it was taking my students forever to write out their fact list, and it was really slowing them down. So I'm hoping this just makes it that much easier for them.
So I feel like I have a lot to talk about. Let's go back to the whole going to Starbucks thing this morning, because that did not happen. I don't know what was going on at my Starbucks, but first I drove around the drive-thru where I usually go, and it was closed. And I was like, oh my goodness. So then I was like, okay, fine, I'll just go in. Well, they were closed like all together, so I did not get coffee today, but you know what? I survived, and it's probably for the best that I did not have coffee. I made it through the day. Overall, pretty good. It was a regular day, which our schedule has been so off lately. It was so nice to have things regular and just normal and like go with the flow. I liked it. For science, we started talking about codes. So I talked to my students about Morse code and how it's a binary code, and we talked about what that meant. Tomorrow we're going to go into more detail, and we're going to do binary code with zeros and ones and talk about how computers use that to create images, and I'm excited. I love this science unit. It's a lot of fun. After school I had Hero Boys, and today was our last practice for the season, and then it will start again in the spring. We gave our students cookies, and we went outside and played a kickball game. It was very cold. It's like freezing out right now. So I finally warmed up, came back in, and I finished my sub plans for Friday, which I feel really good about. I'm planned out for tomorrow. I'm leaving with a clean desk and a clean classroom, and I finally just feel less stressed. My report cards are done. They're all ready to go. They're due on Friday, but I went ahead and like finished them up, and overall I just feel good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, go to the gym, go home, get ready to come and do it all again tomorrow. Good morning, YouTube. It is Thursday, but it is technically my Friday for this week. I'm very cold this morning. It's snowing a little bit out, so I'm gonna go get myself some coffee, especially since I wasn't able to get any yet from yesterday, so this will be my mulligan. Last night, I actually got to bed pretty early. I got in bed at 9:45-ish, and then Billy and I have been watching The Haunting of Hill House, and we watched the last episode last night, and it was really good. I don't think I fell asleep until like midnight, but I had good intentions, you know, like I did get in bed early. So I'm gonna go grab myself some coffee, head to school, and then I will catch up with you all there.
Good morning, can I get a medium vanilla latte, please? So as I mentioned earlier in the week, I will not be here tomorrow, so I have my sub plans all ready, which I had these ready yesterday, so all I had to do was actually lay out the stuff, which was so nice, because usually I'm like scrambling to get sub plans done the night before, and it's a very lengthy process, so it felt really good to not really have to work on them tonight. Here are my actual sub plans. This template is available in my TPT store. It is editable, so if you're interested, That link will be for you in the description box. Underneath, I have my substitute binder. A very similar editable template is in my TPT store. This is an updated version. I don't have this one available yet, but you can purchase my other editable template. Underneath, this is just like my attendance folder. This is the activity students will do during study hall. They are going to disguise the turkey. And I put on here that students can turn these into the homeroom bin. I was going to let them keep them, but I kind of really want to see what they come up with. So I'm going to have them turn it in just so I can take a peek at it. Then I have my block stuff, which in the subplans it says that the pink binder clip is block 1, the blue binder clip is block 2, but in case they do not read that, I have it labeled here as well, block 1, and then block 2. We are just having 15-minute blocks tomorrow due to American Education Week and doing an activity in the afternoon. Then underneath I have the answer key that the substitute can use to check them before they turn it in, because I don't want any students rushing just so they can do an early finisher option. Then my students are going to do this Scrabble activity during the American Education Week time. So we have an hour chunk where parents can come in to participate in an interactive activity. So it's basically going to be like human Scrabble. My students are each going to get a Scrabble letter. So you can see this is letter A, and then this is the point value. Now they're all different colors. So I have yellow, I have purple, and I have blue. The substitute's going to pass these out. Students who have the same color will be in the same group. So there will be a yellow group, a blue group, and a purple group. Each group will have about 10 students, and they will all have different letters. So they're going to use those letters to try to form words, and they're going to record it on this recording sheet. This is part of my word work pack. I used to use this with my second graders to practice their spelling, but it worked perfect for this activity. So I just printed out some copies. It has all the letters and their point values, but obviously each group will only have 10 letters. Each word they come up with as a group, they will list here. They will calculate the total points. If they run out of room and need a new recording sheet, I have extras of those. And then there are some white letters. These are going to be for any parents. So if any parents come, these ones are all vowels. So that way a team can get extra vowels because the parent will just join the team that their student is on. So my students are actually going to go to the science lab to complete this, so they have more room to kind of move around and try to form the words. And my room is very crammed with all of those desks. So I'm actually sad that I'm missing this activity tomorrow, but obviously I need to put family first. Then I have The Day the Crowns Quit, which this book is amazing. If you've never read it, I will link it for you in the description box. Highly recommend it. Our county actually has these like social emotional like lessons that are provided for us, and we kind of pull from these from time to time. This book is actually used for an interactive read aloud lesson on working together. So I just printed the plan straight from our curriculum, and I'm leaving that for the substitute. Interactive read aloud basically just means the substitute will read the book, stopping every so often and having the students either turning and talking, or the substitute will model the type of thinking that they want the students to ultimately perform. So hopefully that made sense. That's just kind of a fill-in activity for after the Scrabble until the end of the day. And then I have these papers that my substitute has to hand out. So this is how I am leaving my desk area for the substitute. I always love to have things labeled, nice and organized, should be pretty straightforward. I also have a PowerPoint that goes with my substitute plans on the goodies drive, which is like our drive that substitutes are able to access. So once they log onto the computer, they can go to this drive, they'll go to the 4th grade folder and then my folder, and they will be able to pull up that PowerPoint.
So let me quickly catch you up from my day, because I have barely been able to talk. The day overall was good. It was hectic because, first of all, one of my team teachers is sick. She has pneumonia. She is out the entire week. So that has just been craziness when students have a substitute day after day after day. One of my other team teachers she wasn't out, like she was in the building, but she was not in her classroom. So she had a substitute, and that is craziness, like when half of your team is gone. And just this whole week in general has been hectic and overwhelming and stressful and just a hot mess because we've had schedule changes all over the place. The weather has been crazy. We've gone from warm to snowing today, and then having my team teacher out a week, and then my other team teacher out yesterday, and then I'm out tomorrow. Like, it has just been all over the place. However, I had a really good day with my students. I'm noticing progress with their math. I really enjoy them like as little humans. I love getting to know them, and you know, every day that goes by I get to know them a little bit better, and that therefore helps me be able to teach them better because I'm able to build a relationship with them. I now need to go ahead and end this vlog because obviously I'm not gonna be here tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be vlogging. If you enjoyed this vlog despite all of the hecticness, and I feel like I was just vlogging at the beginning of each day and at the end of each day, but this is real life and this is why I document this. Like, this is how teaching is sometimes. This whole year honestly has just been a challenge, like personally for me, trying to balance everything I have going on, trying to reach all of my students. Like, it has been challenging, but it's helping me grow as a teacher, and personally that's all that matters to me. So if you enjoyed this vlog, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button if you have not already, and hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time I post a new video. As always, thank you for watching. I love you all so much. Don't forget to think positive, and I will catch you in the next one.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video and for supporting my YouTube channel. If you want to check out any of my older videos, you can use the 2 links right down here. If you want to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos, you can use the link right up here. The links to all of my social media sites, my Teachers Pay Teacher store, my merchandise store, and my Amazon store are in the description box, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.